Hey guys, what's up? My name's Theo. I play middle linebacker for the Hilversum Hurricanes. That's in the Netherlands. I live in Amsterdam. I'm an American. I live here and I play American football in Europe. So, got a bunch of questions yesterday, over the previous week, because football season is starting up in the United States. So people are like, oh, what helmet do you use? Okay. What girdle do you use? Okay. What cleats do you use? All right, so here it is. All the gear I will be using, except for like some of the swag stuff. That's in the wash right now. It's been packed away for multiple things and it's sort of got that stale smell. So I'm washing it right now. So we will go over the swag probably in another video. And this is just like the meat and bones of everything. The necessary gear. But anyways, so this is all of my American football gear I will be using as a middle linebacker for our upcoming season starting on September 26th. So that's when we'll have the game. My husband Aaron will record from the sideline stuff and we'll have a game day vlog, and that will be live on the 27th of September. I know that seems a little late. Most of you are starting right now or within this next coming week, but every place is a little bit different. I will also probably be playing, assuming we never go into another lockdown, I will also be playing football until July. So, long football content. So this will be from, well, I mean, now until July, and then we'll probably go on a summer break. So, yeah. Anyways, so this will not be a suit-up video. I'm just going over my gear. If you want a suit-up video, that's this one right here. So we're gonna start at the very top. This is my helmet. It's a Zenith Epic Plus, I think, maybe it's one of the two. I forget what the difference is. And it's the Prowl face mask. This is the Hilversum Hurricanes logo. We're royal blue and yellow. And the alternate color is white. Our face masks are white. And as you can see, Zenith. This helmet is getting up in a little bit of age. I've had it for, this will be my 4th season with it. So yeah, I do actually like this helmet, and it's tempting to get another Zenith helmet when I need to upgrade. But technically, as someone said, it's not broken, so don't fix it. These are also super expensive. I believe this one costs around $350 or more bucks. Depends on the new pricing. This one is probably hard to get at this point because it's an older model. So yeah, there's a link to the video when I got this and when I first got it. Okay, and the next thing going down would be mouth guard. I use SISU. As you guys can see, I have a blue and a yellow one. Just, it's nice to swap them out. Plus, it's nice to have a backup because these are, no piece of gear is perfect and can break. So sometimes you want to keep backups just in case, but you know, when your shoulder pads or your helmets break, it's a little bit more serious than something like this. And as you can see, I can put it in, it stays in, I can talk. Probably not the greatest idea, but I can drink coffee. You won't want to drink anything too warm, otherwise it'll slightly deform. Pull it out, pop the yellow one in. As you can see, I'm still relatively talking. That's why I like these. And people are like, oh, that doesn't protect against anything. Well, I've been using them for 4 years and still have all my teeth, still have no concussions. So, that's pretty much up with that. But again, that's SISU. There is a coupon code down below for their website if you want to order one. % off your order at the end. It helps out the channel actually, so it's always down in the description, so you guys can just, if you can convince your parents, or because I understand that many of you are like, oh man, I really want to have that one, but you need to have a mouth guard that's attached to your helmet. I know, youth rules, and sometimes high schools, JV even could be weird, but you gotta go by your rules as is. That's why I don't necessarily use a visor on my helmet, is not because, there's a couple reasons I don't use a visor. Because one, it has to be clear if we're allowed to use one in games. And I don't want to be like, oh, okay, well I have a practice day today. Okay, I'm going to put my visor on. I'm going to look swaggy for you know, like this helmet here is an NFL replica and it has a Panthers visor in it. And so that's that. And like, but if I wanted to, technically I could use that for practice. It's a functional helmet. But if I had like a practice on a Thursday and then a game on Saturday, but I wanted to maintain swag for practice, I'd put the tinted visor in for practice, but then remove it on my helmet for games and then put it back. That's a lot of work. Plus, my teammates are Dutch. They are wholly not impressed by having swag at practice. Just saying, I've shown up with some swag and nobody's giving a crap. Okay, so here's my practice jersey, but this is for game day stuff. So we have to look at what my actual gear is. Let's pull this thing up and over. So we can see it is a Zenith Element Hybrid. I use adult medium, and these are basically, they're hybrid because they work for running backs, fullbacks, and linebackers. They have skill pads and they have lineman pads, but these are the weird ones in the middle. So yeah, that's pretty much these. And as you can see how they fit, again, this is not a suit up video, but as you can see, they just pop right on. And then straps are super big, twisted around, but these just come around, fit underneath there. Pretty much that. And it's good on impact, and these have had numerous impacts in over practices and stuff and running against sleds. And I broke my collarbone a couple years ago, and I feel super safe with these pads. So yeah, I had skill pads before playing as the linebacker, middle linebacker, going against D linemen. So I wasn't doing the greatest idea. These are better. And I've had at least a year of practices with these against a very competitive center. Hopefully you guys will get to meet him here soon in like game day vlog or something. But anyways. Okay, so I currently now using, moving down the body, my girdle. Tazentaki's boy, I think that's the username, asked what girdle I'm actually using. And I explained previously what I use, but here's the actual, it's a Gear Protec. It's what would be considered off-brand, because it's not Nike or Adidas or Riddell or anything like that. Because that's what you get here in Europe. In order to get decent girdles, like from the States, I have to order them in, and that can cost upwards to twice the price in shipping and import fees. So I get them from Germany. But the actual company, I believe, is BSN Sports. But yeah, it's a 5-pad girdle. But you've got the hard thing in case anybody tries to come in for a chop block, but it wraps all the way around so that when you land on the side, you know, this stuff at least cushions the side of your hamstring, the side of your leg, just a little bit. And then these are very, very cushiony. You know, yeah, they bend, and that's the idea of this little thing, is because they can bend a little bit and squish in. Because basically if you have anything like a finger that's going in there, it's not necessarily going to hurt. But if you've got someone's knee coming in, it'll kind of collapse around it. It's just a different design. I used to have a hex pad from Nike, but those broke in a very embarrassing location. I used to use this girdle, which is from Full Force. It's a large though, but it started, this is not a great thing. These are very, very off-brand because you can see where they're tearing a little bit. Like, it's relatively fine, kind of, for this stuff, but like this stitching right here burned throughout. And I'm like, this is bad. I don't want to have like my waistband and my crotch, like that's just not good. So I'm probably gonna toss these or something. I have no real idea what to do with them because they're kind of broken. They would be good for like if someone wanted to have like a costume that it wouldn't be necessary to run around in contact with other guys, but like, I don't know, take a helmet like that with a Fan Panthers jersey or something, I don't know, and use this to simulate the pads underneath. That'd be fine, but I don't know. Not good to play with. Okay, letting y'all know, because I said this is like game day stuff, but these are actually my practice pants. They're just Riddell royal blue pants. I do not have a uniform here. Those are kept by the club and distributed per game day. I do wear number 44. Here's a picture. What the uniform looks like with this helmet. This is me in northern France. It's called Villepinte. And it's the Red Devils, Diables Rouge, something like that. We were doing an international tournament back in 2018. So, yeah. Another thing with gloves. Now, this is going to go in with, again, we're not going with swag. We're just going with the functionality stuff right now. So this, use the other hand, Fitbit. These are Cutter's Gamer 3.0 gloves. Yes, I probably could have gotten better ones, but I didn't actually see them that were considered lightly padded. I didn't want to get the heavy padded lineman gloves, but I also wanted having some padding that, skill players, receiver gloves don't have. So perhaps they will have them later. But these are Cutter's gloves, at that, but they have this ever little, I don't know if you guys can see that. Each one of these things is a little tiny pad, but it doesn't come down and like wrap around my wrist, such as like lineman gloves do. And these are super comfy and they are super warm. And as you can see, royal blue, white, they match. However, they are not my away gloves. These, going with weird brands because I need to find stuff that's cheap, because, importing and stuff, are Nike gloves, and they are also what's considered linebacker running back gloves. They still have the wonderful stickum on them, but they do have padding around the fingers and stuff. So they are Nike Alphas, as you guys can see there. And so these are okay. I've used them at practice, but our handsy linemen were actually playing a game in Germany with the Cologne Crocodiles, so I wasn't. We'll figure this one out as, things move on into the season in October and stuff. Plus, we'll actually get to have the idea of how warm these keep my hands. Right now, we're still borderline 18 degrees. Even at practice, it's only getting down to like 16 or 17, and I'm like, okay, well, the gloves don't need to keep my hands warm because that's a really warm temperature anyways. The other option I have, these are not padded, but they are still good. They are Adidas Adizero gloves, and they are receiver gloves. I used to use these. They're still nice, but they have no back. They don't have any knuckle padding when getting in with the linemen. My hands get big or something? Jesus. Anyways, as you can see, these gloves, they are more white than the Cutters, but still have that same idea. So this would be home, this would be away, unless, these function pretty well. But again, I like these for the away because they still have the main color blue. And as you guys can see here, this is what our away uniform looks like. So having a blue and white is very nice. But, again, these are functional things, even though technically I do have a couple styles. So they're like, they're functional swag. Along the lines of functional swag, we have cleats. So these are my home cleats. I do not use these at practice. I have some black ones down back over there by the door that were like super on sale and super cheap. They're basically these, but they have a big Nike swoosh on them right over here. They're the same kind, but these I got a couple years ago off eBay because they're not made anymore. They're like Nike Vapors, and you can see how they got the blue and the white. And while they could be utilized with stuff, I have these for home. As you can see, I tried to knock them out, but we play on grass. Rarely do we play on turf, and it's only a couple teams that actually have the money for that. So most of the time we're practicing, so stuff stays lingering. I don't really wash afterwards. But if we do play on turf, these are spotless. And my away cleats are actually new cleats because what I was using was those, but white with black flecks. And they were super cool, but I broke them. I broke them in like May, early June. We were going through stuff, and I pushed against the sled, pushed my feet into the ground, and was lifting the sled up, and my foot slid out of my shoe. Like, I threw them away, but like right along here, it had a little bit of mud, so my foot stuck in, but then the cleat stuck in, and my foot fell out of the cleat, and like, everybody knows what a wet sock feels like. And that immediately hit my foot and ran straight to my brain, and I went, yeah. Like, I finished the drill, but I was so grossed out when that happened, and I was like, ugh. So I had to get new cleats. I still use the black ones. Those are fine, utilizing those for practice, but again, these are Alphas, Nike Fast Flex, yada yada, it says right there. I know they're a different variety, but they actually look really good. They are not normal cleats. They have the molded rather than the peg kind. They actually work really well. I utilized these at practice, that's why they're dirty, to see if they would function on our field, which is weird because I would never actually utilize these cleats at our home field because we don't play away games at our home field. We will figure this one out as the season goes by. Our field may be actually different because it had to get replanted this summer because corona and sunburning and people weren't out watering it and things died and we play football on it, so it gets tore up. So yeah, these are alphas and they're a little bit higher around the ankles than my previous ones, but they are very snug on my feet and I like them. And so we'll figure it out. Again, I play in grass or turf, and the turfs are relatively different on top of that one. Like Groningen and Rotterdam have a different style turf field than Arnhem and Amsterdam Crusaders. Because I think Groningen and Rotterdam share their field with a rugby team or a soccer team, whereas Crusaders and the Falcons actually have their own field. So they are allowed to use the little the little crumbles in the bottom with the grass that sticks up and design that one rather than share a field and split the rent. We have our own field out in Hilversum, but it's just a normal grass field with sand and silt underneath. That's pretty much all my gear that I'll be utilizing for this next coming season. Whenever I get new gear, I always post a new review video for it. So yeah, I posted the link to the video above that is about these shoulder pads, the difference between my old shoulder pads and my new shoulder pads with the same jersey basically. I didn't want to change the jersey, so I utilized a home and away for my old team, the Cobras, but they're the same size jersey. They're not stretched out in any way, so you can see how they fit. An adult small, shut varsity flex 4.0s. And those with that uniform, and then these with another one, so you can see how the difference is. And I think I did a really good job overlaying. Anyways, that's an old video. You can go watch that one. It's also a playlist of all the gear I've ever gotten over the years. Even if it's stuff I don't have anymore, I keep putting it in that gear playlist because it's entirely possible someone has that gear. They got it handed down from your older brother who played football, and he's like, here, have my gloves, they fit you, but they're 4-year-old gloves and they still work, but you can't find anyone currently doing a review on them, so you can go back and find my stuff there. Anyways, I hope you all have a great season. If you ever have highlights and you want to come into my live streams or comments, just post a link or say, hey, look up this user on Huddle, and I will check out your highlights. And if there's enough requests for that one, I will do a whole video just reviewing your highlights. I know you're gonna have to need a couple season stuff to, a couple games to go by to get highlights, but we'll talk about that one in October. Anyways, catch you guys later.